The next thing we're going to deal with is, what does the beginning of a year entail, right? Because a lot of us are under the Roman cultural perspective of time, and so we try to mix it, and this is not done consciously because we really don't know that we don't know. But this is what we do. We take what we know in this culture, and when we read the Bible, we read it through the eyes. So the lenses that we wear is the culture that we are born into, right? And then we read the Bible through these lenses. So we're not really seeing what is here. We're seeing our perception of what is here, right? So when you're dealing with the beginning of a year, what else begins? It has to be, matter of fact, let's go to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 5. It says, "And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day." First day of what? Guess what? When you're dealing with a year, it has to be I'm going to even go less. It has to be the first hour, the first day, first night, first week, first month, and we know we don't have a year zero, so it's going to be the first year at that point, right? Now, why is this necessary? Because in this culture, guess what? You can start a new year. You can start a new year in the middle of a week, meaning you take all days from the old year, put it with new days of a new year, merge them together and call them a week. That's not so with the Most High. That is done in the Roman culture, but we are not Romans, right? So guess what? If it's the beginning of a year, it has to be, let's go to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, "And God said, let there be light, and there was light," right? Now, what is this light? It's talking about the dawning of a day. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 23. The book of Luke, chapter 23, and verse, I think, 54. Here, on verse 54, it says, "And that day was the preparation, and the Sabbath drew on." Now, again, reading from this culture, we can look at it many ways. But what it actually means when we say the Sabbath drew on, a lot of us are thinking, okay, the sun is going down and it's coming on tonight. But what is the scripture actually saying? Or what is nature actually saying? It's coming on to dawn. How do you know? How do you know that it's talking about dawn? Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 28, and verse 1. It says, "In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week." It's talking about the same thing. Dawning towards the first day, or drew on, is the same word. And it's what? Beginning to grow light. As you read in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 3, let there be light. So it was dawning towards the first day. It's the same thing. So nature declares that. So when you're dealing with a year, everything has to be the first. So you cannot say, for example, let's take a look at the Roman calendar and look at the first day of each. Let's look at their first day and their first week. What you will notice is that this year may start at their first day, right? Next year may start at their second day. The other year after, it starts at their third day, and so forth. Yeah, but it has to be the first week and it has to be the first day. So how do you, if you're starting a new revolution, how is it that you have things old of all days of the old year? Then it's no longer new. What did the Messiah say? Don't put new wine with old wine. And that's what they're doing here in their culture. It's okay for them to do it, but it's not okay for us to give over our minds to it. That's bending the knee to Baal. You don't bend the physical knee. This is what we're bending to their will. We're bending, we're giving ourselves over, we're giving our souls over to their beliefs, to their culture. And you know what it is for us? It is a religion because it's dysfunctional. For them, it's a culture. It is working for them. They're doing their trade, they're doing their whatever, they're doing their rituals, they're serving their gods, whatever. It's not functional for us. We are not serving our God when He tells us to. We are doing it when those people tell us to. So they give us 6 days to work and say you have a day off. And that day off you attribute to His Sabbath, which you know has nothing to do with it.